Political correspondent Steve Kornacki. So we got the broad overview there, Steve, of the polling. Break us the numbers down specifically. Show us what you're seeing in this poll.
Yeah, I mean, I think what everybody just saw. We could just, take you through the numbers. Trump, obviously, with the big lead here. Nikki Haley in second at 20%. Not much of a change from the last poll. Trump here leading with evangelicals, obviously a very important part of the electorate. In Iowa, Trump lost by double digits with them back in 2016. Now he has an overwhelming advantage. DeSantis has gone after this group considerably. Haley has, as you were talking about there, she's got support now with independents. She was at 23 in our last poll. She's up to 33 here. But the bad news for Haley, again, talking about this from your conversation there, the favorable, unfavorable numbers here for Haley have changed, a lot from our last poll. You can just show you that 48-46. Look at this. In the last poll, it was 59-31. She's down 11 in favorable. She's up 15 in unfavorable. Something that might have to do with that. You just look at her supporters, more than 3/4 of them have a negative view of Donald Trump. We've seen this with, Chris Christie, with Mike Pence. The more you get identified with anti-Trump voters, I think the more that pro-Trump Republican voters perhaps start to turn on you. And again, folks just saw this, but it's that question of the weather. It's that question of enthusiasm. And, Trump's voters very enthusiastic. Obviously, DeSantis is still enthusiastic. And that's that question if Haley's in second place and her voters in this poll, at least, are not nearly as enthusiastic as the others. If a lot of theories on how the weather's going to play out, but if enthusiasm goes into it, that might be a bad sign for Haley.
Steve, I know you've been looking at numbers across the board for, going on a year now as we've been analyzing what's going to happen in this race, and now we're finally on the heels of it. What can you tell us about what this could mean for going forward? What a strong second place finish for either Haley or DeSantis could mean in the upcoming states?
Haley's the one who, if you look toward the next state, New Hampshire, in the polls, she's had the best position there by far against Donald Trump. So I think obviously she's hoping a second place finish here she's hoping for anything that comes out of Iowa that is a signal of momentum that tells New Hampshire voters, who have been moving towards her at least, until the last few days. We've seen some polls there that have her there's one that has her within 10 points of Trump. Others, it's a lot closer in New Hampshire than Iowa. So she's looking for something that tells New Hampshire voters, hey, this is for real here. Think about it. And again, if you look at the independent voters, if I could go back, well, I can't get back to it, but I just showed you the independent voters there. She's at 33% in Iowa. She's climbed dramatically. Independent voters could be 45%. There's a scenario where independent voters are close to half of the electorate in New Hampshire. They're only going to be about 20% here in Iowa. So if that's Haley's core vote, with the way the electorate works in Iowa, it's hard to see a winning formula there in Iowa. But could that be a winning formula in New Hampshire? Just given the nature of the state, it could be. And if she were able to do that, if she were able to get a decent showing in Iowa, win New Hampshire, it would set the stage for a high-stakes battle between her and Donald Trump. Where? In South Carolina.
Where she was governor, but where Donald Trump is also extremely popular. Steve, as we head into this election year, are there any indicators from this poll or any poll that you can say are pointing you in a direction for what we might anticipate for the general election? What kind of enthusiasm there's going to be among voters? I know there's not a lot of enthusiasm for either one of these candidates, generally speaking, Donald Trump or Joe Biden. But is there anything in the numbers that you're seeing so far that you're going to be paying close attention to come July and August? Yeah,
obviously, pending, we'll see who the Republican nominee is. I mean, we've got these polls now, and I think, again, you see it a little bit in here with Haley doing well with independents, doing well with there are some self-identified Democrats who are going to be voting here in these Iowa caucuses. It's probably not a surprise when you do trial heats of Haley versus Biden. She does better in the general election right now than Donald Trump does. Although, again, I call back to a very distant Republican primary here. But back in 2000, the last candidate to have numbers anything like Donald Trump's on the eve of the Iowa caucuses, Republican caucuses, was George W. Bush in 2000. Trump just broke his record for the highest share in the final poll and the biggest lead in the final poll. And George W. Bush was running worse than his main challenger, John McCain, against Al Gore. But what Bush turned that race into, Bush versus McCain in 2000, he turned it into a loyalty test for Republican voters in states like South Carolina. He said, hey, my opponent is popular with the Democrats, with the independents, with the media. It's mischievous members of the other party who are powering my opponent. Vote for me, the loyal Republican. You wonder when you see this Haley support among independents and Democrats, and even in the general election, if this keeps going, Haley versus Trump, if she makes a stand in New Hampshire, does Trump make it a similar loyalty test there? And we see Trump is still extremely popular with most Republican voters.
Steve Kornacki. Steve, thank you very much. And coming up, would you go out in this?